Good morning. I hope you all are there. Good morning. I know I'm late. Sorry I'm late. Good morning. I will start the class today with the stakeholder analysis. Okay. What is a stakeholder analysis and what is stakeholder analysis and who are the stakeholders? All right. Good morning, Shrisha. Yeah. Vicky, good morning. See, anyone and everyone who has an interest in the project is a stakeholder. That doesn't mean an outsider can be a stakeholder. Shilpi, good morning. Lily, good morning. Yeah. Good morning to the little merit also. Yeah. Prashant, happiest morning to you. Mahesh, good morning. Manjunath, good morning. Manjunath says he's a vegetarian and he can't eat chicken biryani. So, Lily, you can't invite him. No problem. I'm a vegetarian too, actually. I have turned vegetarian recently. So, Manjunath, I'm with you. So, when I give an example today, I'm going to go on a vegetarian peas pulao. Okay? Peas pulao. Pulao means in my language rice which is made, flavorful rice. Something which has peas pulao means with peas, green peas. All right. So it could be chicken pulao also, but now we'll go into green peas pulao. Teja, good morning. Dev, good morning. Wait, I missed somebody. Manjunath, Dev, Madhuling, Teja, Sujan, Lily, Ashish. Oh, okay. AM, okay, Ashish, got it. Nina, good morning. Roshan, good morning. Lily is welcoming everybody into her house. I know why, Lily. You two vegetarians will be sweet. You know what, Lily? I have a feeling that you want to give little merit into other people's hands and take a relief. Oh my goodness, let Batman play with somebody else for some time, isn't it? Oh, we love our children, but sometimes we want a little bit of me time, isn't it? Malikarjun, good morning. Varsha, good morning. Yeah. Look what I made today. I cut up a Pond's box. This is the Pond's powder I was using. So I cut it up and I put some plants. Sweet, huh? Doesn't it look cute? The lavender is so pretty. See, this is going to be on my table from today. I'm going to office today, so it will be on my table. Alright, yeah, I'm a little crazy. Harshita, good morning, sweetheart. Yeah. Who else is there? Manjunath. Yes, Pulav. Harshita, good morning. Rajesh is my old student, logged in from Bidar. Good morning. Yeah, Naresh. Dada. See who's at the gate. Priksha, good morning. Anjali, good morning. Okay, we have people from all over. Okay. Now I'll start class. Good attendance. Okay, sorry about my dog. I have next to my house is a site which is empty, so I believe people are walking around there, and my dog is excited. Ma, just find out, ma. Okay. Here we are. Who is a stakeholder? As I said, anybody and everybody who is interested in the project. That doesn't mean someone who is jogging in. See, this project we will take as auditorium CBSMS. Okay, Project Audi CBSMS, not the car. So imagine some joggers are going by and they want to see what is happening. They cannot be stakeholders. Stakeholders who have a real interest means who have invested something in the project. For example, the top management of any company. In our case, it would be the syndicate, the syndicate members. We have something like a council of ministers in the university. We call them the syndicate. the syndicate members would be interested because they will have approved the project. And this project will have been presented to them by the vice chancellor and the registrar, so they also can be considered as top management. Then it percolates down to our department, the project manager. In any company also, when for a project, the project manager the project leader, we say manager generally. Project leader is a name that you have in corporates for BPOs. We say project manager. Lavanya, good morning. Who else is there? Bharat, good morning. Yeah. Ravi, good morning. Sachin, good morning. Shruti, good morning. Okay. So let us say, I will come back to who is a stakeholder. As I said, someone who has really invested some money, time, effort. Those people are stakeholders. All right. Someone who has invested some money or some time, etc. They are stakeholders. Is that all right? Give me 1 minute. Guys, I'm sorry. The dog is a little excited. Um, I had closed the door and he was scratching the door to come in. It was very distracting. Okay, sorry. No more distractions, okay? So, who is a stakeholder? I've told you. You're waiting. Who is a stakeholder? I told you. A stakeholder is someone who has invested some time, effort, money, etc. into or some kind of decisions also they have done. For example, someone was part of a decision to do the project, then you will have them also as stakeholders. Is that clear? Then the project manager is the stakeholder. All the people in the project are stakeholders. We as students and faculty of CBSMS also be stakeholders. All right. So generally, see, it is in a company, even the employees will be the stakeholders. Suppose it is something that is concerning with them, then they'll all be stakeholders apart from the actual project, the people who are doing the project itself, and the top management. As I told you before, there should be continuous commitment from the top management regarding the project. Okay. Rupa, good morning. Yashaswini, good morning. Nagma, good morning. Kishan, good morning. See, class, I'm not speaking on behalf of Yashaswini, but getting the opinion of 151 people is no joke. And you all have not been very cooperative. I'm not saying, see, it's always like 90% are cooperative and some 10% take their own sweet time. Please remember, class, you have to give the specialization. Today is the last day. If you don't give, then you're in trouble. Why do you dilly-dally? You have to give. And please understand her trouble. 151 people. See, she has to give to the department today. And the worry is people who have given in time, their details will not be given to the office unless everyone gives. So every one of you will suffer. Those who have given in time also will suffer. So please understand, those of you who have not given, or you know those, all of you, see, I'm sure who are attending class today are all who have given the details. There must be somebody in those, she has given a detail, no, who has not given. Among those people whom you should know, call them up and tell them to give it, because you will be in trouble. Your details cannot be given unless their details are given. The list has to be complete. So you understand, but okay, I'm not here to say Yashaswini scolds and it is good and all that. It is, you can understand there's no one else supporting your class except her. She has gone to the department, she has taken the list, she has got her due scoldings and she has come. So understand her trouble and give it immediately. Alright? Because those who don't give, I told you, no one's details can be given unless the list is complete. You can understand the tension that there is in the whole thing. Okay, now we will go ahead. See, still 15 members have not given. I would like all of you who are attending my class to find out who has not given and give them their due, so that they give, because no details who have given also can be given to the office unless the list is complete. Okay, there it is. I'll come back to project management. I'm doing project management. Of the two modules of project management has to be done before I go into operations management. So I told you who is a stakeholder. You must have understood. See, why does this? What is a stake? Okay, this is very interesting. You have to listen. This is my assumption. Okay, see, a stake is, imagine a flat wooden stake, rectangular, and at the top it is like this. All right. Imagine, you must have seen some houses with the picketing fence or something they say. A stake, good morning Lakshmi. A stake is a rectangular flat wooden pole with a top like this. Okay. Below it is straight. On the top it is like this, and then. So this is used for fencing houses. If you have seen, some white color fences are made like with this. All right. Now it is flat. Imagine a pole that is round with a pointed end. Probably it was pointed at both ends because it has to go into the ground. This is called a stake. A rectangular stake, wooden stake with a pointed top on and pointed bottom. I assume it is pointed because it has to be driven into the ground, hammered into the ground. You understand? See, in olden days in the US, people were prospecting for gold. Alright? People were prospecting for gold. So they used to take these stakes with them or create them on the way, and they used to go search for gold. When they found gold somewhere, they had to, before they could go to the nearest town and tell the officials, register this land for me, because it was all government land. So I want to buy this piece of land. So register it. He would put a stake there, probably with his name, and he would go to the neighboring town and tell the government officials, come and register this plot plot in my name. All right. So this was the stake. I have a stake here. This is for me. This land is for me. So come back to the stakeholder, and you'll understand that I have some kind of interest in the project. That's why you become a stakeholder. A stakeholder analysis. Now, what is a stakeholder analysis? A stakeholder analysis documents important and often sensitive information about stakeholders. See, you take this slide. The slide is 40. Slide 40. A stakeholder analysis is a document. And what does it document? What do you have it? The contents are stakeholders' names and organizations. Who are the stakeholders? For example, the members of the board, their names, they might be they might be working in different organizations. There may be entrepreneurs, there might be NGOs, there might be government officials. So all this, who is number one, this person, what is he, his address, everything. Okay. So secondly, what is his role on the project? Is he a sponsor? Is he just an expert on the team to help? All this, whether he's a sponsor or he's an expert, etc., is given there. His role on the project. Third, unique facts about stakeholders. Now, suppose there is somebody who is very good in the stock exchange. You know for sure that he is dealing in shares, and he has made his fortune based on dealing with shares. Okay, then write that there. Suppose there is someone who is very interested in women empowerment. There's a lady on the team who is very interested in women empowerment. She runs an NGO where she helps all women who are in trouble. Write that fact there. All right. And anything else like this, some unique facts about stakeholders you have to write. Suppose someone is an excellent decision maker or administrator, he's an IAS officer, something like this, or a good singer, someone who likes music. All right, you put the facts there. It is necessary. I'll tell you why as we go on. Next one, level of influence and interest in the project. How much of influence does this person has as regards the project? For example, is he responsible for releasing your funds for the project, then he's a very important person, So if he's interested, if he's responsible for releasing the funds of the project, then you have to put it there. All right, all this. Then suggestions for managing relationships. Okay, see, everybody likes, when I say, I don't know, Lily definitely likes when I say, how's little merit, Purnima? Good morning. Purnima, come a little late. I have to finish class and then drive to office. Okay, come after 12. Okay, here we are. Well, everybody likes, like for example, Lily, you feel happy when I ask about your little baby, isn't it? So that is your soft corner. Yeah. So every time I want to make Lily happy, I may ask about. For example, even otherwise, I'm interested in asking how your baby is. But where is Hadia today? Hadia is missing. Okay. Or imagine I like to ask about Nagma, for example. You're from Bangladesh, isn't it? Something about Dhaka, I can say, for example. So that softens your attitude towards the other person. See, A and B want to have a good relationship with each other. So a friendship, or it could be a relationship as a stakeholder and a project manager. So suppose there is some interest. A is interested. Yeah, A is interested in music. So B says, yesterday I listened to Ustad Khan or somebody, Ali Khan or whatever, and Sarod music, for example, something like this. And it softens the attitude, see, like that. See, tea is a great bringing together the thing. Come on, let's have tea. If someone is, you have a cup of tea, and over I just saw a movie where a young Indian girl sells Indian chai in the US and becomes rich. So something, yeah, the tea is also a great bringing together. And the biggest unifier is language. Believe it or not, the biggest unifier of people is language and culture. All right. So language, when you can speak and understand each other's language, or if someone speaks my language, I feel happy. It's common all over the world. So these small things that can help in managing relationships have to be there. All right. Imagine someone speaks a particular language, and he or she doesn't get anybody to practice that language on, and then someone says, yeah, Larman, good morning. Yeah, so, and someone says, I know that language. I would like to speak to you. See, I'll tell you one example. One day, I was conducting a Viva Voice to some students of RICM, Regional Institute of Cooperative Management. They had MBA before. They do not have it now. It is in next to Devagoda petrol bunk. So that was there. It was very interesting. And there, a boy from Kyrgyzstan came for the interview. So he introduced himself, ma'am, I'm so and so. I've come from Kyrgyzstan. So I think ICCR student. So my PhD is in international business. So I know a little bit of international culture. I asked him, isn't it true that when you welcome guests, how they do it in Kyrgyzstan is they have a big round loaf of bread and they keep some salt. So if you are welcomed in the traditional way, you have to take that piece of bread, take a piece from the bread, dip it in salt and eat it. You're accepting their hospitality. So this boy was, I don't know, he had a fight or something, was in an angry mood and all that. I said, you're from Kyrgyzstan. Is it true that He said, yes, ma'am. His whole attitude, his whole face changed. Ma'am, how nice that you know something about my culture. Yes, we do that, especially for very important guests and all that. We welcome. And even in our homes and all, we welcome. Like that only, he said. And it was a very pleasant the saying. He says, come to Kyrgyzstan, my home is open for you. Okay, now this was my Viva. I can't get personal or chatty with him. But these are the two little things that made him and me more comfortable with each other. Alright, so language is a great unifier. Something about culture is a great unifier. In fact, to be honest with you all, when I see that there is somebody from Bidar, I try to look into internet to see what is there about Bidar so that I can tell in class, and somebody from Bidar feels happy. Anjali, yeah, something from Mysore, and then I have even logged on and seen about Dhaka, Nepal, and Afghanistan. All of you, whoever, yeah, Turkmenistan, all of you. I've tried to look into and see some things about the culture. It helps to make you all more comfortable in the class. So this is the way this is what I want to, another way I've tried to explain the slide 40. For example, in the stakeholder analysis, it is a document. And what does it document? The names of the people, the roles they play, the important, what are the influence they have on the project, on the implementation and success of the project, suggestions for managing relationships. All this is there in the stakeholder analysis. Come to slide number 41. For example, you can see the key stakeholders are given here as Ahmed, Susan, Eric, Mark, and David. So about Ahmed, they say internal senior management. Role on the project, sponsor. He gives the money. Sponsor of project and one of the company's founders. He has founded the company. Really important man, isn't it? He not only has funded the project, he also is one of the founders of the company for which you are doing the project. Unique facts, he's demanding. His demanding means he likes details, business focus. He's a Stanford MBA from Stanford. So he wants to be, see, he's demanding. What is he demanding? Is he demanding your personal time? No. He is demanding to know how the project is proceeding. Alright? So what is your duty about him? Communicate. Communicate to him as often as possible. I don't say every hour, but as often as possible, send him a message or however to let him know that this part of the project is completed. This is the work that is going on. Level of interest in the project, very high. Level of influence, very high, can call the shots. He can say the project manager is not good, come on, bring another fellow. He can call the shots. And then suggestions on managing relationships is keep him informed. See, as I just said, let him lead conversation, do as he says and do it quickly. You understand? I'll go into one more this thing. See, Susan, one more person. The second person is Susan. Susan is she's from the project team. She's a DNA sequencing expert. So she knows what the project is all about. Whatever, I think this project they're doing is DNA analysis or whatever. And unique facts, very smart, PhD in biology, easy to work with, has a toddler, has a baby. So you can ask, how's your baby? And then Susan's attitude will soften towards you. Alright? And level of interest, very high. Then level of influence, subject matter expert. Regarding what you are doing, she's the expert. Critical to success. So if Susan doesn't say yes, it will not go further. If Susan says this is the quality, okay, she says quality is fine, efficiency is fine, then you go ahead. Otherwise, you cannot go ahead. And then make sure she reviews specifications and leads testing. Can do some work from home. Alright. So we'll go into one more guy. Eric, the third guy is Eric. He's from the project team. He's the lead programmer in the project. He's the best programmer. Weird sense of humor. He likes to laugh at weird jokes, it seems. Or maybe practically he has some fun. Level of interest is high. Level of influence is high. He's hard to replace. You can't get a man like him. In case he says he walks out of the project, you will find him hard to replace. So, suggestions on managing relationships. Keep him happy so he stays. Emphasize stock options. He likes Mexican food. Alright. So, you understood what is a stakeholder analysis. Now, we come to 42. All right. It is project plan execution. Project plan execution. What does it mean? You are implementing the project plan. All right. Project plan execution involves managing and performing the work described in the project plan. I have explained to you what is a project plan. So whatever is told in the project plan, you do it. Actually, do implementing or doing or executing is called project plan execution. The majority of time and money is spent here in the execution of the project. All right, this is one of the phases. You started the phases of project management. You started it, and when we began the project, introduction of the project, we did the charter, the plan, and the last was the stakeholder analysis. Now this is the second stage where we are actually doing the project. So far, till stakeholder analysis was all preparation and the beginning of the project. So everything is documented for you now. So we actually do the project now. Alright. The application area of the project directly affects project execution because the products of the project are produced during execution. Whatever you have to do, the deliverables are done during the project execution. So this part is very important. Okay. This part is very important. Sometimes people have a poor, go to slide 43. Some people have a poor view of plans based on past experiences. Senior managers, see, sometimes they do not follow. There are people who says, oh, I have done 20 projects, I've done 200 projects. Why do I require a plan? But it is so that, see, every plan is different. All right, every project is different. Why? Because it doesn't belong to the same organization, or whatever it is, it doesn't happen at the same time. The same kind of project you might have done, but you might have done last year. Definitely there are things which time changes, isn't it? Many factors change over time. Can I say I did an MBA so many years ago, so I can answer without studying? Suppose I have to answer an MBA exam today, I definitely have to do my studying. I can't say, yeah, I can answer the subjects I teach without preparation. That's a different thing. Stats, operations research, I can answer your 3-hour paper just now without preparation. That's a different thing because I taught. Any other, say for example, strategic management or corporate finance, I need to sit and I need to prepare. Not I do have a better understanding at my age than y'all. That is there. But without preparation, can I say, oh, I did financial management in my MBA. I can answer without with closing my eyes. Without preparing. Can I say that? I definitely cannot, because times have changed and the concept has changed, the syllabus has changed, the content has changed. So many things have changed. The way of answering is, even my question paper pattern will be different from what I answered when I did my MBA. You understand? So I cannot say it is similar to that. A plan, a project, I may have done the same project 20 times, similar project, but still see, for example, you are laying a road. The terrain will differ, no? Some place it will be sand, some place it will be mud, some place it will be rock. Yeah, you may have to use dynamite to burst the rock and lay the road, or you may have to strengthen the road with the gravel if it is sandy. And so there are various things. Even if you have done a road where you have strengthened the road with gravel and then done, so there will be some other issues. Okay, so a plan has to be followed. Please don't say I've done so many projects and it's all the same and all that. It isn't. All right. See, there is an example here. As I told you, I took it from PMBOK. One project manager said he would meet with each project team leader within 2 months to review their plans. He cancelled the first meeting due to another business commitment. He rescheduled the next meeting for unexplained reasons. See, 2 months, after 2 months he didn't meet them, and after 4 months again he rescheduled. 2 months later, the project manager had still not met with over half of the team. So after 6 months, he doesn't even know who are the project members of the project, and that is not good at all. Okay. So when the project manager himself is not following the plan, how the project others will follow? They will say, "Oh, he's not keeping the his word. How? Why do we need to keep our word?" You understand? As simple as that. Devika, good morning. Anjali, yeah, oh, you're from Raichur. Yeah, yeah. Spandana, good morning. Okay, there was a guy called Rajesh, no, from Bidar. Yeah, I had Emmanuel from Bidar, Rajesh, Bharat, a lot of guys from Bidar. Yeah, Raichur, yes. Yeah. I used to think, yeah, in my little understanding, I used to think that those places have no rain. And then I discovered that you're producing so much of rice. You cannot produce rice without rain and without water, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Now, we will come to the next slide. That's slide number 44. What are the skills required for project execution? See, generally, when you bring people together and you want to work, then you have to manage them well. How do you manage them well? You have to give them their independence. Nobody likes to be bossed over. But you must tell them that I am watching, and tell them what to do, how to do, if you want them to do, how you want them to do. You guide them how to do and leave them free. I have seen that, for example, when we organize a function or something, I tell them you're accountable man and this is the way you're supposed to manage the days. Okay, so see that there are good flowers on the this thing, or green plants or something. We decide should it be plastic, or or you don't want to waste money. We have some plastic flowers in my department, we'll use them only. Or one, instead of having 10 vases, one beautiful flower arrangement in the middle of the days will do. All these decisions we take, and then they are left free. Okay, and the finance is given to them. You just submit the bills, and they do a fantastic job. Okay, now by the way, class, I want to tell you, the Bangalore University is conducting an international conference. The dates are 7, 8, and 9. All right. Now, in my next class, probably which is tomorrow, I will tell you I require some of you to help me, because every 1 hour, see, for example, on the first day, I have been told that 3 to 6 will be the presentation and we have to handle commerce and management. Today I'm meeting the commerce coordinator, and she will tell, like, for all this I require coordinators, but she will student coordinators, and she will tell me which sessions she will handle with her students. So the remaining sessions I will announce tomorrow. I want you all to WhatsApp me, and I want 2 students for 1 hour to handle the sessions. It will be like this. There will be some person whom we will appoint as chairpersons. Generally, directors of our own colleges, I have planned to request them, and they stand in and they'll do the job. So they'll come in, and what your job will be to introduce them to the people, okay, in the room, and then they will talk for 5 minutes, and then they all the people, whoever is there, will present their papers. All right. Depends on how many papers are there. I anticipate. I have requested you to write papers. So I anticipate that you all will write some papers. How to write papers, if you're worried, I will send across an abstract. Look into that. There is an abstract there, and your paper need not be more than 2 pages. All right. Need not be more than 2 pages. Just 2 pages you present, and there will be only 5 minutes that we can give for presentation. All right. So the papers can be in, you can ask some questions to your friends and give their opinions. This will be your findings. That kind of paper is called an empirical study paper. All right. You all have done this thing, research methodology. You have been taught, so you will understand. All right. Or you can just talk about some case study, like some product, how it was introduced, how it is marketed, etc. You can talk, or something like this. That becomes a case study. Or a nice concept and you like that concept. For example, you like CRM, and you see in the neighboring shop. For example, I like to tell you that CRM, since I have not taught you marketing, probably I have not met you for this concept. See, CRM, I like to think that it has originated in India. Alright? For example, imagine there is a shop near your house, and you're telling, say, your little brother is going to the shop. Okay, when your mother tells him go and bring green chilies, he knows where to go. You don't have to tell him go to that shop. Why? Because it is our shop. It doesn't belong to you, but it is your shop because you go there. And when you come, when you were young, when you were probably coming home from school and you wanted a packet of biscuits, without paying, you could bring the biscuits home and your father or mother would pay the person later. That kind of freedom you had. So it becomes our shop. You understand? This is the our. So suppose I give 10 rupees to one of you and you're very young, say you're 10-year-old, and you're going and someone asks you, where are you going? You'll say in Kannada, Nammangdi, or my shop, isn't it? So that is where you can buy your chocolates and all without paying. So this is the kind of CRM, the relationship that is developed by the shopkeeper with your parents and yourself. All right. CRM today, they give you messages and say, come and stay with us. You stayed with us some 2 years ago. So this is off season. You come and stay with us. We are going to give you this free. We are going to give you a huge discount, etc. So that is also a kind of CRM, e-CRM that we see these days. All right. So, whatever it is, when we talk about important skills for project execution, it is simply that we have to have a good relationship with our employees or our project team members. So coming back to our international conference, I will tomorrow give you the slots for which I require volunteers, and I would like you to volunteer and be there. Wear your blazers, come and be there and help me handle the sessions. Every session is 1 hour, and it will be similar. One person who will be the coordinator or the chairman for the session. He will speak for 5 minutes, and the rest will be all presentation of papers. Generally there will be 10 papers or something, or if there are lesser papers, there will be 10 minutes per to talk about the paper. All right, 10 minutes for presentation. So I will tell you tomorrow. Please stand in for me and help me. Let us make the conference a great success. And if you would like to give papers and you don't know how to give, you can talk to me also. I will explain. Or tomorrow, if you want me to tell you in my class how to write a paper, I can do that as well. Please tell me if you are interested to write the papers. I can tell you how to write a paper. I can give you a demo, like how to empirical study. I will teach you how to make a paper. Otherwise, there is one idea. See, you all have done second year projects, isn't it? You all have you been doing projects? You have to do a project, isn't it? I'm not sure whether you have been guided. If you want, I can give you. Yeah, Anjali. Okay, you got plenty. Divya, good morning. Amreen, good morning. Yes, you have lot of water. Yes, good. Good to hear. Okay, so we will do that. All right. So next class, tomorrow, if you want, tell me. If you want to write a paper and you don't know how to write a paper, you tell me. And the paper you can send to me. Yes, Ravi. You can send to me. Tomorrow morning, I'll take a class on how to write a paper. All right. I'll start by 9 o'clock tomorrow and I'll tell you how to do the paper. Now, I would like some papers. Please submit papers. Come and present the papers. It is your department as it is your university. Yes, BK? Okay. Tomorrow I'll tell you. You take a pen and paper and be ready. I'll tell you various ways in which you can write a paper. All right? Or I can tell you now. The first thing, see, if you all are interested in a product, let us say you are interested in a new, say, a shampoo. All right? How you are using a shampoo. In India, you are using a shampoo. All of you are using shampoo. So you want to know how the shampoo started, this particular brand you like. So what are its competitors? What are the features, special features of this shampoo? Who are its competitors, etc. And what you can do is you can make a small questionnaire. In the first part of the questionnaire, you must make a profile, because in when you take a questionnaire and do a study, you're taking representatives of the whole population. You're taking a sample. The sample has to be a representative of the whole population. So that is why, to prove excuse me, to prove that you are taking a adequate sample, you have to do a profile. The profile could be, don't want the name, age. So if you have you're doing shampoo, about shampoo for example, you can have less than 30, and 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and above 60 or above 50, like that you can have. That is the first profile. Okay, age wise. Then education wise, if you want a 10 standard PUC or less than degree holders and post degree holders, three you can do. Okay, non degree holders and post graduates. Okay, you can do like that. Two kinds of profiles I told you. Then the third profile could be qualification, like it could be, are you technically qualified or non-technical, if you want. Okay, or if you don't ask income, people will not be happy. Not for this kind of paper. Income is necessary, but when you correlate it with some other opinion, that you're not going into that kind of deep research, so don't want. Okay. So like that, two concepts of profile are enough: age and education for you currently. There are other things we can do, but don't want for now. Then you want to ask, for example, you have shampoo A. Then you know that it has competitors B, C, D, E. Okay, so you write, for example, you write all the shampoos and say which comes first to your mind. Rank them. So people will rank them. Okay, you can analyze this ranking. Shampoo A could be ranked 2, shampoo B could be ranked 3. Out of rank them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shampoos you have given, they will. So you will get one idea. If you talk to 10 people, if 6 people have ranked shampoo A as 2, naturally it will be in second category. All right, top something like this. You can analyze, right? Then you can do a table. Okay, in a table, in the first column, you can write the attributes of the shampoo. Okay, like cleans well. Say shampoo cleans well. Secondly, gives good bounce to the hair. Third, gives luster to the hair. Luster means shine, isn't it? And fourth, prevents hair fall. Say fifth, prevents dandruff. Say five things on the first column you write, and after that make 5 columns. Okay, in the first column you write 5, 4, 3, 5. Next column 4, 3, 2, 1. Now suppose you give me the questionnaire and this table. I will say the shampoo, this A shampoo. For example, does this shampoo do this? Do the following. You tick. So first, this one protects my hair, or how protects my hair is very generic. No, I said gives bounce for my hair. Will you give 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? 5 is the highest, 1 is the least. I may tick something. Gives bounce to your hair, I may tick something. Say 4. Prevents dandruff, I may tick 5. And gives luster, 1. You understand? Something like this I'll tick. So based on that, you can do the analysis. Alright, you will get the points. You can add up the points. I'll tell you how to do that. Tomorrow I will show you a simple a simple way. Thank you, Divya. You're sweet too. Good morning. Zulfati, right? Yeah, you're Zulfati, no? Isn't, am I not speaking to Zulfati? Your name is Moina. Sorry, ma'am. Okay. Is it Zulfati ma who said good morning just now? Okay. So here we are. You got that. So much is enough. If you analyze that paper, It is enough. All right. This is one way I can tell you. Tomorrow I will show you how to analyze the. I'll tell you how to do the paper and how to analyze the table. But I will need comments from here to tell me that we are okay, right? Okay. Now I think today class is enough. I will do slide 44 from tomorrow. The slide 44 is important skills for project execution. Um, Okay, I have told you leadership, communication, and political skills, product skills and knowledge, use of specialized tools and techniques. See, if the manager wants someone to give him a software analysis through software, he should know something about the software. You should know something about the analysis. You can't just rely on somebody who says, okay, this is good, this is the analysis, this is how I found it, etc., etc., isn't it? So he should know something about what he is talking about. All right. Then there are tools and techniques. I think it is a little too much today. Enough. Tomorrow I'll come on at sharp 9 and I will tell you how to do the project. Also, I will tell you, I will take a little class as well. Not project, I mean how to do a paper. I'd like at least 20-30 papers from you. This is a chance of a lifetime class. You get a, yeah, you get a good, I'm not saying make a grand paper. My experience is that I love papers which are original. It comes from your heart. It could be, see, you all have, let me take Lily for example. Lily, you've come from Turkmenistan. You have stayed in India. You have stayed in India and you know the difference. You want to write your experiences about cross cultural. See, generally, when we go to a new country, I'm going to teach you in international business. Generally, when you go to a new country, you get a cultural shock. You think, for example, Shilpi, you have come from Nepal and you say, oh, Indians are like Nepalis. No, you must have realized we are not like Nepalis at all. Yeah, because we Indians are, see, if you come to, if you go to Andhra Pradesh, you will find a different kind of Indian. If you go to Tamil Nadu, you will see a different kind of Indian. In Karnataka, you will see a different kind of Indian, isn't it? Different kinds of. Why are you saying goodbye to me so fast, man? I haven't finished. I'm still talking. Yeah. Okay. So you'll see a different kind of Indian in different this thing. There are no Indians in India. There are Tamilians. There are Andhra Pradesh people. There are Kannadigas. There are Keralites. There are North Indians. There are South Indians, but no Indians in India. So just joking. What I'm trying to tell you is, see, yeah. You must have, when you as an international student came to India, you must have got a cross cultural shock. All right, our food, our habits, our way of talking, our way of thinking, you may not have understood. If I say like this, I will say yes, but if a Japanese man says like this, he's saying I'm listening to you. So I may misunderstand, an Indian could misunderstand. All right. So different. There is something called cultural shock, and then how you adapted, how you learned. For example, your seniors Afghanistan boys were telling me, "Ma'am, we love spicy food." Initially, when they came, they used to come looking with hungry faces. You won't believe. I have ordered idlis and tea in my department and made them eat idli and tea. Made them eat idli and tea because I could not see where to see their hungry faces. All right, this was the situation. So there we are. Sorry about that. Okay, so there we are. Yeah, I think my dog is hungry, so my husband is feeding him. Sorry. Okay, I'll say bye now. I think I've talked too much. All right. Tomorrow, if you want to talk about cross-cultural issues, that is also a very good paper. I would like you to do that. Shilpi, you can do a similar paper. Lily, Rima, and you can talk in your perspective. Never mind if two of you are from Nepal, you can talk in your perspective. Zukra, tell Zukra and Zara, no, to I said the same. Talk about that. I would like you all to talk to me and I'll help you make the paper. It will be a wonderful thing. Vicky, you too can. Okay? Okay, guys. See you all. Bye. Have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Let me know what you want. WhatsApp me and I will tell you how to make a paper. I want many papers from you. Compulsory. Otherwise, no marks in, no internals in my subject. Bye. Have a great day.